Multitasking is a universal concept, but we in America, we got this down. We do it perfect. We watch movies with cell phones in our hands. We raise our children with our iPads. We schedule our side gigs during our lunch break at our main job. Every Saturday morning, I wake up and I edit this podcast for 2 hours while I'm watching this week's wrestling clips. Very rarely do we do one thing at one time. The one thing I do every week is I sit down and I watch one movie for this podcast, and I do nothing else. I even pause it when I stop to look up facts on IMDb so that I don't miss a single second of it, good or bad. Jason's got it even worse. He likes to take meticulous notes, and I know that he pauses it every time he wants to type something in. So if this 3-hour movie took me maybe 3.5 hours to watch this week, it probably took him 5. God help that man. Anyway, this week we watched Meet Joe Black, and then we watched it more. And then we continued to watch Meet Joe Black until it was finished with our undivided attention. Welcome to You've Got Mails.
Man, what a difference a week makes, huh? We go from talking about the warm grip of Joseph Gordon-Levitt to the icy cold grip of death. Welcome to You Got Mails, everybody. I'm Jason. I'm here with CJ.
Much like my boy Hopkins, I didn't see that intro coming. I wasn't even ready.
I'm sorry, you said you were ready.
No, it's all good, buddy.
Life comes at you fast, as we find out.
I want to start this one like our buddies over at the Fright Pub. And I made a drink just for this one because it's a little late.
Okay.
So I'm calling this one Courting Death.
Oh, what is it?
And it is a mix. It's 3 parts. 1 part vodka, 1 part energy drink, 1 part being over 35.
Wow. Yeah. You're going to wake up like Anthony Hopkins with some pains in your arm.
Yeah, that's true.
On today's episode, everyone, we're talking 1998's Meet Joe Black.
Then we're going to stare at each other for 45 to 50 seconds.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was worried because this movie was 3 hours long. And I thought that it would take us a long time to get through it. But I'm going to put it right up front here, part of my review. The movie's terribly paced. It didn't need to be 3 hours long. There are long stretches where nothing happens that we can just skip right over. So I think this will actually turn out maybe like a tight hour and 20. I'm hoping. I'm
going to go with Titanic, Avengers Endgame. That's it. That's 3-hour-long movies. That's the one.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, even like during Easter, they split those 10 Commandment movies up over 2 days.
Yeah.
Not necessary, you know?
Yeah. There is a 2-hour version of this movie, which
I saw that.
Read about.
And I was so jealous of the people that got to see that version.
Yeah, but apparently they cut out a ton of, like, one particular plot point, and the director hated it so much he took his name off of it. So, like, whenever you see that short one, it's directed by Alan Smithee, which is, like, a name they use in Hollywood when they don't want to be associated with the project.
I saw that.
Yeah. What, did you know anything about this movie at all? Like before? I know you hadn't seen it. Neither one of us had seen it.
I've stopped watching the trailers beforehand on these movies, which is funny because I got to talk about the trailer. I just watched it afterwards to kind of give me a little refresher.
I didn't watch the trailer.
Oh my God, it's amazing because this movie's a little dark and dour. The trailer has this amazing like 1990s like do 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 do
really?
The whole fucking thing, and it is literally like only the comedy parts of the movie.
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. And Brad Pitt's just eating peanut butter like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, that's a big part of the trailer. No, but I didn't know anything about this. This looked like, and as I found out, I was correct. There was like that spot in the 90s where they were pairing up hot young guys with old legends.
Yeah.
So you had Morgan Freeman with Shawshank Redemption. You had Seven.
Wait a minute. Are we calling Tim Robbins a young heartthrob?
He wasn't Morgan Freeman's age.
It's true. But
I mean, technically, he played like 40 years in that movie.
Tim Robbins is no Brad Pitt.
But you had Brad Pitt with Morgan Freeman.
Seven.
You know, yep. You had John Leguizamo with in Mario Brothers.
Bob Hoskins.
I'm just gonna go for them all here. But this was like a thing for summer. You had The Rock.
Oh, Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, there you go. Like this was a thing in the '90s, and this movie, I'm pretty sure, killed it.
This wasn't even Brad Pitt and Anthony Hopkins' first movie together. They were in Legends of the Fall, like before this.
That's right.
Yeah.
You even had Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins. I know she's not like a hot young guy, but
No.
she had her own thing going. I mean, they're all terrific actors.
Yeah.
But they're like way opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah. I told you I hadn't seen this movie, and I didn't even really know. Like, I knew the name, but I'd never seen it, didn't know what it was about. I just saw that one clip of him getting absolutely wrecked by traffic. And I was like, I'm putting this on the list, because once I saw what it was, I was like, oh, this is a romance? Like
A romantic tragedy,
yeah,
it says.
I'm going to put this on the list. But yeah, this movie follows. I would say Anthony Hopkins is the star of this. Like, he's the main character. I feel
for
like.
sure.
I mean,
when you buy Hopkins, you use the whole fucking
yeah, I
thing.
mean, obviously it's Meet Joe Black, and Brad Pitt plays Joe Black, and he is a pretty major player in it. But I felt like this was Anthony Hopkins' story to tell with like a romance shoehorned in.
Yes.
I feel like they were like, we got 90s era Brad Pitt, let's make it a romance.
Hell yeah.
But, you know, Anthony
We
Hopkins...
couldn't get Angelina Jolie, but we got pretty close.
Yeah. Anthony Hopkins plays William Parrish, or Bill Parrish.
Or
Will Parrish.
Will Parrish.
As in will die.
Felt like an idiot when I read that afterwards. I was like, how did I not catch this?
I never would have caught it. But he plays like a billionaire media mogul. Like, he owns Parrish Communications, which we find out is like a news source. I don't know, but they don't really go into whether it's a paper or like a television channel. But he's a big deal. Got a ton of money.
And for those of you who have gotten your media mogul news from watching Succession, this is the complete opposite of Succession.
He's a nice billionaire.
He's a good billionaire.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Back when we thought those guys could be awesome.
Yeah, but this is essentially his story. And it starts out with him tossing and turning in bed. We get like a big shot of like his palatial mansion. Like, dude's got money. It takes a helicopter everywhere. Like, I feel like he lives on an island. He can't even drive to where he needs to go.
Can I talk about something real quick? We don't need to make this any longer than it's already going to be.
So I'm going to skip over a lot of this movie.
Oh,
it's
thank
fine.
God.
Let's just wrap.
Helicopters.
Yes.
You will never get me into a helicopter.
Why not?
I've said before, I
love
wouldn't mind
turbulence.
dying in a plane crash.
Yeah.
That's because planes, like... So the thing with planes is the engines die... It's still a plane. It's still in the air. You can glide it down to the ground. You get that excitement of going to the ground. Helicopters, when they stop working, they become rocks. Mm-hmm. Rocks that kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't not want to go out like that. I would never get into a helicopter. I would get into the rinkiest, stinkiest plane.
It's faster than a plane. Like, you gotta sit with that for a minute in a plane.
You gotta savor it for a second. You gotta think like.
See, I want to go fast. Like,
man.
I'm thinking helicopter's the way to go.
Yeah, you'd never get me into one of those things.
Right. Well, he's a very wealthy guy. Flies in a helicopter everywhere. They live in New York. But it looks like he lives in an island because he's surrounded by water, and every time like he has to go somewhere, he's like, get the chopper, and like he has visitors and they come in on the chopper. Like, it's just constant choppers. But he's laying in his bed and he's tossing and turning, and he starts grabbing his one arm, and you're like, oh shit, this is a heart attack. It's about to happen. It's coming. And there's like a creepy whisper from somewhere in the room. It just goes, yes,
It's time.
yes. And he gets up and, he splashes some water on his face, back to bed, and everything's fine. He's okay.
As you do when you have the money to just have doctors flying in on your helicopter.
Yeah. So we cut to the next day, and we get an outside shot of the mansion. And they're setting up for like a big party. There's like tents and chairs and everything. And we see Marcia Gay Harden, who plays Allison. That's one of his daughters. And she is
Never thought I'd see a Cyclops daughter. Like the daughter that does all the work and gets none of the glory.
And she's like talking to the caterers, the lighting guy. She's getting everything set up like, perfectly. And Bill comes out from the house and, she's kind of talking to him about what she has planned. And you can tell he's not really... He's a billionaire, but he's not really about the pomp and circumstance. Like, he's not really excited about a party. It's going to be his 65th birthday, so this is like a big deal, I guess. And they're planning this big birthday for him, and he's just kind of like, hey, well, I don't like this kind of shit, but whatever. Like, you're my daughter. Thanks.
She's talking about like the president showing up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So they're setting up for that, and then we meet his other daughter, Susan, played by Claire Forlani.
Just a doctor.
Mallrats fame.
No, I'm just kidding.
She's a doctor.
Also, there you go. Having pains in my arms. Hey, lovely daughter.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you should look into this.
What could this be? And she comes out and she's talking to Bill, and find out that the chopper's on its way in and Drew is on it. We hear about Drew. And we get the sense that Susan and Drew have a little romantic relationship going on. And Bill's asking about, like, what, do you like him, don't you? You like Drew? And he's like, Drew is Bill's right-hand man. Like,
yes.
Trusted confidant in the business world.
He's
young guy.
the man.
Yeah, young guy, but like he's taking him under his wing. He's helping him out with things.
The kind of guy that's hoping that chest pain is an actual heart attack. Because he's second in command. He's ready to step up.
They make Drew, so when Drew gets off the chopper and he starts walking up, he says hello, he gives Susan a kiss, and you already know that, like, they're not going to work out. So in my notes, I wrote, Drew, possible Cyclops. Because he doesn't seem like a bad guy, but he's not likable.
Yeah, no.
Like, not a likable character from the get-go. Eventually you find out that he's not, but, like, he never is.
This guy, I've only ever seen him in one other thing. He was in that remake of Dawn of the Dead.
He was,
where he was the good guy.
Yeah, he was. He was like one of the last survivors. We also get to meet Jeffrey Tambor, shows up.
Which I never knew this guy was ever overweight. He was packing it on.
He looked like Dr. Phil in this movie. He was full on Dr. Phil, like bald head, mustache. His name is Quince, and he's married to Allison, but he's also involved in the business. But we find out that he was kind of like just like a nobody, like schlubby guy, and he hit the jackpot when he married like a billionaire's daughter. Like, she fell in love with him even though he was like nobody. And now he's kind of like along for the ride, it feels like. But they take the helicopter. They're off to New York City. They're having a big business meeting. Susan's just along for the ride because she's going to work. She's like, can I catch a ride in the copter? Because I have to get to New York. My shift starts in like 3 hours.
It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and they land and they go off on their meeting. They go their separate ways. But actually, in the helicopter ride there, Bill is talking to Susan more about Drew. And he's kind of telling her, like, he's a nice guy. Like, I trust him. He's great for business. He's a good worker. But I don't think he's right for you because I don't see you talk about him the way, I felt about your mother. Like, there's no excitement. There's no
glow there.
There's no passion. Like, it's just, yeah, he'd make a great husband, but you're not in love with him. And he talks about, you'll know it when you feel it. It's like lightning. It just strikes, the real true love.
Or you just meet Brad Pitt in a diner.
No shit. And he gives her this big speech.
And this is Brad Pitt with, like, epic 90s hair.
This is peak Brad Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
But he tells her that, like, she should be deliriously happy, and he doesn't see that. The plane lands. The helicopter lands, and they're all walking to their separate cars. Like, Drew and Bill are going off. They don't let Quince come to the meeting. The poor guy. He's just kind of like left behind with Susan. But as they're walking to their cars, Bill starts hearing his own voice, like, ominously, like, giving the same speech that he just gave to Susan, like snippets of it, like the finding true love and the lightning striking and all this stuff. And he's like, everybody's looking at him like he's going crazy because he's like looking around like he's hearing voices and shit. And but that's it. Like, they just get in the car and go. We see Susan. She's at a diner having coffee before she has to go into work. And there's a guy, he's obscured by like a glass wall, and he's on the phone. And the conversation isn't anything like too spectacular, but she is like listening intently and like smiling and kind of laughing. Like, she's enraptured by this guy's conversation.
Do you remember when hearing somebody have a loud phone conversation was actually like something interesting?
Yeah.
And now you're just like, well, this motherfucker just shut up and get out of the target line.
But he's talking to someone on the phone, and he keeps calling her honey. And he gets off the phone and he comes out around the corner, and it's this beautiful Brad Pitt from 1998. And,
he has the most 90s hair I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in my
it's super.
life.
Yeah, frosted tips.
Like,
and
Jonathan Taylor Thomas should have been behind him, like, curating that shit.
And he sits down at the counter, like, across from her, and he apologizes. He says, "Oh, I think I was talking kind of loud there." And she goes, "Oh no, it was, it was interesting. I was basically eavesdropping on you." And she asks about Honey, and he's like, "Oh no, that's my little sister.
Sure."
She's thinking about dropping out of school because her boyfriend cheated on her and they broke up. And he's like, I'm trying to convince her to stay in school. And he's like, that's just the way it goes, though, isn't it? Like, guys and girls don't stay together. And she's like, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. And he talks about how he's looking for just one person. Like, he's a guy that only wants one person.
He continues to drop the most ludicrous game on her that I have ever seen. The idea that this man is single. All right, first off, he looks strikingly similar to Brad Pitt. And then he just starts saying every right thing that you could possibly say. He's like, I'm just looking for a long commitment with a woman that I can love and dote over completely. And she's like, well, you shouldn't do everything for a woman. He's like, no, you should do it, and she should do it for you. That is a loving, committed relationship. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, dude, lay off.
He's laying it all
like,
out.
save some for the rest of us.
He's laying it all out. But, he finds out that she's a doctor, and he says, oh, I've been looking for a doctor. I need, I'm new to the city. Like, I'm waiting on this apartment. I got this job I'm looking at. The guy sounds like he's got no prospects. So he's got nowhere to live, and his job isn't that great. But he's telling her all this stuff. And then he asks if he can buy her a cup of coffee while they're there at the coffee shop, already having coffee. And she agrees to it.
Just reaches over the counter, grabs the coffee pot, starts pouring.
Yeah, he's pouring his own coffee. We cut back to Bill, and he's in the office, and they have just had this big meeting. And you find out that there's Bonteque is another guy who owns like a big media corporation, and they're looking to have a merger. And I guess that his meeting was with him to kind of like go over it with him. And Bill says he was an impressive guy, and he's got to sit with it a little bit and decide. Goes into his own private office and starts to have another heart attack, essentially. Like, grabs the arm. He actually collapses at one point. And all the while, this voice is going, yes, yes. And then starts talking back to him, because Bill's like, who's there? Who is this? And he's like, you know who it is. Like, the answer is yes. And he's like, what? The answer to what? And he's like, your question. The answer is yes. And then Bill comes to, and he's fine again. And he's like, fuck, what the fuck was that? Everything's fine, though.
Fucking oblivious. This is a billionaire owner of a media corporation.
It wasn't the big one yet. We got back to the diner, and this is where, Brad Pitt's character at this point doesn't have a name. This version of Brad Pitt never has a name.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and he's talking to Susan. This is where he tells her that, he's looking for a woman that he wants to give up everything for her. And he says, a woman takes care of you, like, why shouldn't you do the same for her and take care of her? And Susan says, we're going to have a hard time finding a woman like that. And he says, well, you never know, lightning could strike. And that's like, flips a switch for her, because that's what her dad had said about finding true love, like lightning might strike. So they leave the diner, and
this guy's got 7 wives already. You know this, right?
Yeah.
Like, this guy is, honey, that was my sister. Fuck off.
They leave the diner, and he tells her, I really, I am looking for a doctor, but I wouldn't want you to be my doctor, because I don't want you examining me, because I like you so much. And then she's like, well, I wouldn't want to be your doctor because I like you so much. And then they're just like, all right, well, see you later. And they do this. This is prolonged. This is what I mean. This movie's 3 hours long. So this is
the first time that it happens where I'm just like, when are they going to end this?
It was almost
9 times.
It was almost comical.
Yes.
They do that thing you see in all the movies where they both start walking separate directions, and then one stops and looks back over their shoulder, and the other one's still walking. So they're like, oh, all right. And then they turn and walk, and then the other one looks back over their shoulder. And it's like they keep missing each other, looking at each other.
How do they, they do this so many times, they should have a fucking crick in their neck. Like, it is 9 times.
This scene goes on for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And finally, they get to the point where Brad Pitt walks out into the center of the street.
Have you ever fucking been to New York City?
Oh, you don't do this.
You do not fuck around on the sidewalks in New York. An old lady will put a fucking shiv in you if you were fucking around on the sidewalk.
There's cars like zipping back and forth, and he just stops in the crosswalk, turns to look at her again, as she like had just looked at him, but he wasn't looking. So she goes around the corner, and then just decimated by cars. Like, he gets run over by a van, I think, rolls up over the hood of it, does like a full like fucking like head over heels, and then like back around, and then lands on like the hood of a taxi and gets like launched off screen.
I will admit, I rewound this twice to see if I could catch all the movements he made.
This is the whole reason I put this on the list. And like, this scene doesn't fit in this movie at all.
Not at all.
Like, it is wild to me. Like, I laughed out loud when I saw it.
It is shocking.
It is so comical. And then we just cut away. Like, that's it. They're planning for the party a little bit more back at the house, and they're having this dinner with everybody. And Bill sits down, and it's Allison and Quince, and then Drew is there, and Bill is at the head of the table, and they're serving dinner, and he starts hearing the voice again, and the voice is like, "Did you miss me?" And he's just like at the dinner table, so he can't answer it. He's kind of like whispering to himself,
it
"Who are you?"
It sounds like Hannibal Lecter's in his head, because he's doing the voice.
It is. It's Anthony Hopkins'
It sounds like
voice.
Hannibal Lecter is talking to him.
Just like an ominous thing. And at one point, the voice says, "I'm at the front door." And Bill calls over the help. He has like maids, and he's like, "Could you? Is there someone at the front door?" She says, "I didn't hear the bell." He's like, "Would you go check for me, please? Because I think I might have heard it." She comes back a minute later, and she's like, "There was a young man at the door. I let him in. He'd like to meet with you." And he says, "Show him to the library, and I'll be in." And he gets up from dinner. Also, too, like I thought this was a dick move, where like he's hearing like weird ominous voices in his head, and the guy's like, "I'm at the front door," and he's like, "Let me get the help." Like, excuse me, like, could you go see who's at the front door? And I'm like, this son of a bitch. Like, this is obviously not a good thing that's happening. You're gonna send them like Operation Send the Maid in first, and if something
Anita,
bad,
can you please check the front door for me?
if something bad happens.
Also, make sure the duck in the oven's not overcooking. I have a feeling.
So he goes to the library, and there's like a glass wall there as well, and this voice is talking to him from behind the wall, and it's saying, "I'm here because I need a guide in this world, and in exchange for your help, I'll give you more time." And he walks out from behind the glass. And
Well, did you catch when he walks up to the glass? It makes a skull.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That was a neat
kinda
little thing.
Yeah, and then it stopped being cool for the rest of the movie after this.
And the guy walks out from behind the glass, and at first it's still Anthony Hopkins' voice, like talking. And then he comes out from behind the glass, and it's fucking Brad Pitt, like the guy that got ran over by all the cars. And
same suit, same everything.
Yeah, and he says the answer is yes. He keeps saying yes to the question you've been asking. And he's like, "What question?" He's like, "The question you asked yourself, when you were on the pickleball court the other day and you felt that like sharp pain and this and that." And Anthony Hopkins says, "Am I going to die?" And Brad Pitt's like, "Yes." And when he finds out that he's Death, and he's like, "You're not Death, you're just a boy in a suit." And he's like, "No, I stole this body and the suit came with it."
Yeah.
So we find out, because like when I saw what this was about and I saw that clip, I thought he was already Death when he was chatting up the daughter.
No, yeah.
That's what I thought. And I'm like, that's how he survived getting hit by a car, because he's already dead.
Oh.
No, he fucking unalived this like random dude to get a body.
If you're gonna steal a body to hang out in fucking 1998,
Absolutely, but also
it's that or the Dawson's Creek guy. Honestly, like you got to pick the winners.
But also, if you want to like experience what life is like for like a regular person, like you just stole 1998 peak Brad Pitt's body. Like, you're getting a lot of things not everybody's getting, bud. Like you got the VIP package. You're not, come steal me or CJ's body. See how life treats you then. You're like, fuck this shit, I'm done. Like, you're not stealing 98 Brad Pitt.
Is that a really tall hobbit? Oh God.
Yeah, it's not great. And he says that he's going to stay for dinner. Bill brings him out to the table, and all these people are there, and they're like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And he's like, "Oh, this is my friend." And they're like, "What's his name?" And he's just like,
"This is great." This is also great, because I was invested in the movie at this point. I literally was thinking, what is this guy's name?
It's Joe Black.
No shit.
But it took...
They were like, "This is Joe." And I was like, "Joe what?"
Yeah. But it takes Anthony Hopkins just as long to figure it out, because he's like, and I'm like, everyone at this table is like, "You just said that this is an old friend of yours, and now you don't know his name." And he even says at one point, "I'm drawing a blank. I don't know what his name is." And he finally comes up with Joe, and they're like, "Okay, well, how about a last name?" And he's like, "It's Black." And Drew is eyeballing this guy. He can tell something's up. They can all kind of tell something's up. Dad's acting real weird. But Joe sits down at the dinner table, and then Susan walks in. She's late, and she sees him at the end of the table, recognizes him from the diner, and she's like, "Oh, it's you." And everyone's like, "What?" And she's like, "We met earlier," but Joe doesn't have any of the other guy's memories, it doesn't seem like.
But he's also he puts in a lot of things that say he's kind of omnipresent. Like, he knows everything that's happening in the world at all times. Or doesn't he? He knows that that's his daughter, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Can we just chalk this up to not good writing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
He does yeah, it's weird because he doesn't have any personality. Okay. I should tell you this about Brad Pitt's performance once he becomes Joe Black.
Holy shit.
It is just a lot of him, like, looking around the room with his mouth open like he's never seen anything before.
And also, pretend you don't know how to act.
Yeah.
Like, Brad Pitt is one of the best actors on the planet.
I don't know if he's a good actor, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's terrific.
Yeah.
And, like, can you pretend that you don't know how to do any of that? Also, you were born yesterday.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does. And it's weird for me because he keeps talking about how he's deaf and he's been around longer than anything. Like, he's omnipresent and he's been around for eons and eons, but he doesn't know anything.
This is my note here. Death has no idea how to human? Question mark?
Yeah.
He's known more humans than anybody.
Yeah. But he doesn't, he doesn't act like he knows her, even though they had met that morning. And Drew is thrown off by this because he's like, wait a minute, you guys know each other? Like, because rightfully so. Like, if I find out my girlfriend had met the 1998 Brad Pitt earlier that day and didn't tell me, and then he shows up at dinner, I'd be like, well, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
But, the dinner kind of winds up. He goes to talk to Joe, like, privately, and he just says, like, he's kind of thrown off that he knew his daughter. And Joe's like, I don't really. He's like, the guy whose body I took did. Like, I didn't really know her. He says that. So
What a terrible convenience.
Yeah. But then they show him, like, in his room. And I wrote in my notes, I said, death has been around longer than anything and seems to have no idea about anything. What is this, a bed? A door? Because he, like, sits on the bed and he, like, bounces and he looks around like, oh, this is something. And he, like, goes over to the door and, like, opens it and closes it, opens it and closes it. I'm like, what the fuck? You've been around forever.
A surprising amount of people die in beds.
Yeah. Yeah. But then he gets up and he starts, like, wandering the halls. And he walks into the staff kitchen where, like, all the staff is in there, like, cooking and, like, cleaning up for the evening. And the one guy is making, like, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And he introduces himself to everybody and he says, what's that? And the guy's like, oh, it's this kind of peanut butter. And he's like, I've never had peanut butter before. And everybody's just like, oh, okay, that's normal for a grown-ass man to have never had peanut butter. And he's like, would you like to try some, sir? And he's like, yes. And he takes a spoon and he hands it to him and he just, big wide-eyed dumb face, is just eating peanut butter. And it's the best day of his life. Like,
yes,
just unbelievable.
He makes face love to this spoon, man. Yeah. Like, he is really going at it in a weird way.
And then he finishes it, which just bothered me because he gets done with it, and the guy's like, "Would you like to try some more?" And he's like, "Yes." There's still, like, half a spoonful of peanut butter on this, like, licked peanut butter on this spoon that he gives back. But he gives him back the spoon. And thankfully, the guy grabs a clean spoon because I was waiting for him to just dunk it back in the peanut butter. Gives him another one, and then he's just like, all right, well, it's nice to meet all of you, and just walks down the hall, like, licking this peanut butter like an ice cream cone. Just wandering the halls. Big dumb idiot. Just eating peanut butter.
He's like a human horse.
Yeah. He walks into they have an indoor swimming pool in this mansion, and he walks in there, and Susan is doing laps in the pool, and she sees him. And
as you do after your double shift at the hospital, go to your billionaire dad's house and do a couple laps up on the 40th floor pool.
Yeah. And she talks to him, and she actually thinks that he's acting like a stranger because he's in business with her father. So he thinks that's why he's acting weird. And she asks, like, what happened to that sweet guy from the coffee shop that I talked to earlier? And what are you eating? He's like, oh, it's peanut butter. And he's just like very matter of fact the way he talks to people. And he's just like, do you love Drew? I mean, I saw you kiss him on the mouth before he left. And she says it's none of your business.
He ever kissed a man with a mouthful of peanut butter?
It's gross. And he says, like, he'd really like to be your friend. And he says that he doesn't have any friends. And he has a job that he gets really caught up in. So he's never been able to, like, develop people skills, essentially. But he's saying, like, I'm too busy killing people all the time. So, I haven't really gotten to really connect with people because I'm just busy wiping them out left and right. And that's pretty much how that conversation ends. Like, she's just like, I don't know. Like, you're kind of weird right now. You're weirding me out. The next morning, he's in a room, like, putting on a new suit. And he's, like, trying to tie his tie. And Bill comes in. And Joe asks him what the plan for the day is. And he wants to go to work with him. And he's like, what am I supposed to tell people? Like, I can't just have you everywhere with me. And he tells
You're the boss. You tell him whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, he tells him, you'll figure it out. And they end up making a deal where Bill tells him, like, if you don't involve my family in any of this, what's going on, I won't tell anyone who you are. They make a deal.
And he says, if you don't tell anybody who I am, I won't murder you immediately.
Yeah. So they go off to work, and actually, I guess they throw this in there. This is actually based on, like, loosely based on Death Takes a Holiday, which was like a
it's
movie
like a
from
30s
like the 30s
movie. Yeah.
And in that movie, when death takes the form of a human person, everybody stops dying. Like, he stops doing his job, which I think is a cooler idea than what they do
concept,
here.
Yeah.
But Anthony Hopkins actually asks him, he's like, so if you're here doing this, like, does that mean like no one's dying? And he's like, you know, when you're out, get up in the morning and, you know, you're getting ready for work and you're brushing your teeth, you know, you're still thinking about work stuff, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, same concept. Like, yeah. I'm here, but I'm also out killing people. Like,
this was the one of the parts that I like, because he says, he's like, all right, take the concept, multiply it by 1,000, then dip it in infinity. Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah. I don't understand it, but I get it.
Yeah. So they end up going into the office, and there's a board meeting about to be held. It's the board meeting to discuss the merger between Parrish's company and this Bonnecue Communications, whatever the fuck it is. And he brings Joe in with him, and he introduces him to everybody, and everybody's just kind of like, who the fuck? This is weird that you're just bringing in this random guy. And he sits down at the head of the table, and he puts Joe in like a chair. And again, this is like, Joe's in a chair that swivels. Mind is fucking blown. Like, he's in the background just doing donuts and shit. And he's trying to get this meeting going.
I don't know. Were they trying to make this funny?
I think parts,
because they failed, but I feel like they were trying.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he like interrupts the meeting to be like, "Hey, can I get more of these biscuits?"
Yeah, he has like cookies, and he and like Drew is trying to get the meeting going, like to talk about what's going on, and Joe just keeps interrupting. He's asking for more cookies. He asks for like a cup of tea.
We got English listeners now. They're biscuits, sir.
No, you're right.
When you're eating a cookie with tea, you have biscuits.
But Drew's just trying to get things rolling, and Bill gets up and he talks about how like he met with Bonnecue, and he doesn't want to sell the company because like he built this company and they're like a reputable news source, and you know, he wants to leave a legacy, and he doesn't want his company to like become something that it wasn't intended to be. And he says the problem is if you sell this to Bonnecue, you have to agree with whatever he says. He has control over what you release, the stories you release, and he doesn't want that.
Can we say, much like Kevin Bacon in
Crazy Stupid Love?
Much like Kevin Bacon in Crazy Stupid Love, they talk about Bonnecue more than any other name in this entire movie. You never see the guy. Not once.
Never see him.
They were building this up like this guy was going to roll in like Colonel Sanders with a handgun and just take over whatever scene he was in. And like I wanted to make him Nicolas Cage at one point because like that would have been great.
Yeah.
But no, they never show this man one time.
No. So they go back to the office after the board meeting, and Bill just wants to be left alone for a little bit, and he's like he gives Death like a wad of money, and he's just like, could you just go like walk around for a little bit and leave me alone for a little bit? I'd like to be alone.
This is a guy that doesn't know how chairs work. Here, have a couple grand and leave.
Well, then he says, he calls for his assistant, and he's like, could you please get Joe a map of the city? And he's like, no, I'll be fine. I'm good. And apparently he is, because he ends up walking to the hospital that Susan works at. Like, she never told him where she works.
Yeah.
So this guy, it's so weird how he like knows some stuff but doesn't know other things. Like, he can get around the city just fine. He can find his way to places. But he walks in to see Susan, and she's like, thanks for visiting, but I have a job to do, and I have like patients to see, and I've got like I got to make my rounds. He's like, that's okay, I'll just walk with you. And she's like, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
And this woman wheels up like her elderly mother in a wheelchair, Jamaican woman, and she's like, my mom is in pain. She's real sick. She's sicker than that guy. Like, we need your help over here right away. And the old Jamaican woman looks at Joe Black and is like, demon. Like, she knows
exactly who he is.
Yeah, she says like it's a Jamaican word, and I don't know what it was, like Obade or something like that. And,
all right, I gotta admit,
yeah,
everything to do with this Jamaican lady, like every experience they have tickled the shit out of me.
I loved her.
And for some reason I feel guilty about it. I don't know if it's because it was like some kind of colorblind situation. I don't know. Am I supposed to feel bad about this now in the year of our Lord 2025?
I don't think you have to feel bad about her. But what you should feel bad about is the Jamaican accent Brad Pitt puts on.
Which is actually, he does better than a human accent that he's using as
it's
Death in a Human
It's actually
suit.
really good, but like the daughter explains to them like, oh, like she's not well, like that's this like demon, and Brad Pitt is just like, oh no, man, don't be Irie, man. And he's like, and he busts out this like really good Jamaican accent, but he starts talking to her in Jamaican.
Which is crazy because he can barely speak American English.
Yeah.
Like, because he's death in a human suit, I guess, and he's never experienced it before.
Yeah.
Soon as he needs to speak in a Jamaican accent.
Fluent.
Yes, absolutely.
He's got a little lingo down the slang.
Like, he walks out, he's like, "Bumba clock, man." I was like, this makes me so happy, and I know I should feel guilty for some reason, but it just fucking gets me.
But he's talking to her. And the daughter, Susan takes the daughter away. She's like, all right, Joe, could you just stand here for a minute? We need to go discuss some things. And I'm like, so you're leaving this little woman alone with the guy that she just said she thinks is a demon. But they go away, and he's like, I'm not here to hurt you. And he's like, I am from like the other place. And she's like, you're here. She equates him to a bus driver. She's like, you're like the bus driver that takes us to the other place. And he's like, yeah, pretty much. And she tells him how much pain she's in. And that she wants like it to end. Like she's asking him to like take her out. And at this point I thought he was about to euthanize this woman because he leans down and he touches her but he's like, not now, like it's not your time yet. And she's like very upset about this. Like she wants to go, but he's not gonna, which is a good idea on his part because the girl he's trying to date like just left this woman in his care. If she comes back 2 minutes later after just busted out the Jamaican accent and this woman is dead, it's probably not going to go as well as it could.
No, and he's like, we can't kill you now. We need to get at least one more solid scene out of you.
Yes. So Susan comes back over, and Joe's like, I don't think being here is a good idea anymore. Like being at the hospital, like I should probably get going. And but he does like try to hit on her some more, and she's like, Joe, I'm with Drew. And he's like, not right now, you're not, but like, whatever. Like, that's his move.
I've actually heard that same argument at the bar a billion times where a guy's like, you're married, but not right now, you're not.
This tickles her. Like, she is enjoying the flirtatious nature of Joe, even though he's really, like, not great at it in this form.
No.
But, like, she's still, like, hung up on the guy from the coffee shop that she met, the day before, who actually had a personality and knew how to use utensils. Next, like, we get a scene, like, he goes back to Bill and he starts to get Bill to talk about, because he's like really interested in love and like what love feels like, and he gets Bill talking about his wife who's passed away and like kind of how they met, things of that nature.
Hopkins has a few monologues in this. Like I wrote right during this scene, I was like, Hopkins is a genius. Like this man is one of the best actors that has ever lived.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just need to say
no, he's great. He's fantastic in this.
He makes this movie watchable.
No,
like
absolutely.
If they
every scene he's in, like his delivery, the acting is fantastic. Drew comes in and interrupts, and he's trying to find out why they're not selling the company. And Bill is just, I don't want to hear it. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not interested. Like, this is my company.
He's dying, and he's thinking about legacy.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, after Drew leaves, Joe asks him, why he's so concerned with business right now of all the things that are going on. Like, you're about to die. You know this. Like, why are you worried? And he says, like, I want to leave my company the way I intended it to be. Like, I built this from nothing, and it's the way I want it, and I'm not just going to, like, leave and sell it off to somebody else that can ruin it.
This is when Joe should have walked in and be like, hey, bro, just wait a week.
Yeah.
Like, then we can do this.
Yeah. Quince ends up coming in. They're back at the house, and he tells them, since the mergers had happened, and he's got, like, a lot of, like, irons in the fire. He's got some contacts. He's got some other, like, merger ideas. And Bill says, it's just a timing issue. Like, we have to make sure it's okay with Joe. Why he says this, I don't know. But he says this to Quince. And Quince is like, all right, cool. And he tips Drew off to this. Like, he lets him know, like, hey, I got some stuff going on. I think it could work out. Don't worry about it. We're just waiting on, like, Joe to make a decision. So Drew is immediately like, why the fuck is Joe making decisions on Bill's behalf?
The weirdo that he just met.
Then they have another dinner. And this, okay, I've got to talk about this one line that makes no sense to me. And they're at the dinner table, the whole family, and Bill is talking about, like, the daughters, and he says, I remember when you were little girls. And Jeffrey Tambor's character, out of nowhere, goes, I love little girls. The whole dinner table stops, stares at him. His wife gives him a very weird look. And that's it.
That's it.
We never talk about this again. The fuck was that? It was so weird and so random.
It's funny as I watched this well after midnight, but I have the line in quotations, "I love little girls," and we were just about to skip over it, and I was like, what the fuck is that in reference to? Now I remember the exact moment.
It was a reference to a very weird thing. And throughout the dinner, we find out, like, first of all, Joe doesn't want to eat like the prime rib they're serving. He asks for peanut butter on toast. Susan thinks that's just delightful that this guy eats like a child.
Would you also like some spaghetti with butter?
Yeah. He also asks about the Jamaican woman. He says he's very concerned about her, wants to know how she's doing. And
Which he would know if she's still alive or not.
Yeah, he absolutely would. Drew and Dad are both not really happy that to find out that Joe's been visiting Susan at work. Like, they're both a little miffed about that. Drew is like super upset, and when they go to leave, like, this is like the end of the night, and Drew decides to leave, and Susan sees him out, and he's like, I can't believe, like, why is this guy visiting you? And she pretty much just like, he's like, I don't like the way he looks at you, I don't like the way he talks to you, and she's like, well, that's too bad, because I like the way he looks at me, and I like the way he talks to me, and pretty much just like breaks up with Drew. Like,
yeah.
They're not together after this. She chooses a guy that she met like a day ago, who's acting very weird, and over this guy.
Yeah, lightning strikes, man.
I guess so. She turns after Drew leaves, and Joe's just standing there, like, blank stare, like just looking around the fucking lobby or whatever. And he was listening in the whole conversation.
Yeah, like, didn't they see him just standing there like a lost dog?
I don't know. She talks. She walks up to Joe and she's like, "Tell me about yourself." And he just stares at her blankly. And she's like, "You're married, aren't you?"
And this continues, especially when these two are in the room with each other. There are these pregnant pauses that are just unbearable.
If you take out all the times no one said anything in this movie, it'd be a 2 hours and 15-minute movie.
Oh, even shorter than that. Like, oh my God, let's jump. I mean, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. They eventually have sex.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking unbearable.
It's way too long.
Oh yeah,
way too long. But yeah, so she asks him about himself, and she's just like, "Are you married?" And he says no. She's like, "You've got a girlfriend?" He says no.
Don't believe it for a second.
Gay? No. And like, she asks all these questions, and it's not like she's not asking to get to know him. She's like suspicious of him and thinks like, there's no way you don't have like something going on. And she just says like, how is a guy like you all alone in this world? And at this point, they like almost kiss. Like, it gets real. Like, he leans in.
I mean, I get it at this point. Like, all right, Diner Brad Pitt, I didn't get why he's single. This Brad Pitt, I'd be like, this guy is obviously like somewhere on the spectrum. Like, he's a little odd, you know?
It's super odd.
Yeah.
But then they just like, he like says he's going to go to bed, and he leaves. Susan goes in to see her dad, and he wants to know like what her interest in Joe is, because he can see like something's going on. And she's like, it's like what you were talking about, lightning. And he's like, no, I don't think this is the lightning you're looking for. Like, please look elsewhere. Like, and he's almost trying to like convince her to go back to Drew. He's like, I realize I said Drew's not that great of a guy, but he's pretty solid. Like, he's not bad.
He's decent. He's also alive.
Yeah, he's not deaf. Yeah,
he's like killed billions of people.
Yeah. Drew has a secret meeting. Like, he pulls some bullshit, and he gathers.
Yeah, this is some Succession shit.
Yeah, he gathers all the shareholders in this like secret place, and he tells them that he met
secret ballroom.
Yeah, he met with this Bonnecue guy again, and he's willing to sweeten the deal, and he's also willing to take Parish Communications with or without Bill. Like, it's basically like a hostile takeover at this point. And he talks about like who is this Joe Black guy? Like, he's obviously like he's in his ear. And all the shareholders, all these like old guys are like, no, like Bill's never taken advice from anybody. He's his own man. He does his own thing. Quince shows up late for the meeting, and Drew like basically gets him to tell the story about how he offered some other ideas to Bill, and he said, okay, but like it's up to Joe. And Drew basically uses Quince to like convince these people that like Joe is up to no good and in Bill's ear. We cut to like another dinner. They eat dinner a goddamn lot in this fucking movie. They're at that dinner table.
I think that's the point, though. At one point, he says, "Are you guys coming for dinner tonight?" And she says, "Like 2 dinners in 1 week." Like, before this was a chore for him. Now he realizes he's going to die.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about
and
that.
he wants them there every night.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because he's a good guy.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Allison is like getting him to try like cakes for the dinner, and he's just like so over the bullshit of the party, and he like actually snaps at her at one point, and he's like, I don't care about the goddamn party. Like I don't like cake. And she starts crying. And then he's just like, all right, you know what? I'll eat the cake. And he eats a bite of cake, and he's like, I love it. And she's like, oh, thank you, Daddy. That's so great. Thank you for eating the cake.
She tries so hard, and he just shits all over. And his other daughter, I mean, she's lovely, but at no point should she be the favorite daughter.
No, she's not putting in much of an effort.
No, not at all.
She's put an effort in on Joe, so she takes Joe on like a tour of the library, and she's pointing out like all the dad's like expensive rare books, and they comment on how they like the way each other smell, and then he asks if he can kiss her, and she says yes, and they kiss.
The most awkward kiss I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is very strange.
And not once did she reference peanut butter.
No.
Like, they should have added
he tastes just like it. Bill walks in like right after they got done kissing, and they're very close and a little cozy. And he's kind of giving him the side eye, not real happy about it. Cut to the next day at work, and he's walking in, and like his receptionist is like, all right, they're ready for you in the boardroom. And he's like, what? I didn't call a meeting. What's going on? So they go in, and Drew wants to tell him the new offer that Bonacue's made, and he won't hear it. He just refuses to hear it. And he also, so he says, all right, you don't want to listen to the new offer? That's fine. Second matter of business, who is Joe Black? And he just won't say it. He won't tell him. He can't even come up with a lie. Like,
yeah,
you'd think he could come up with something. Bill's not good in his feet. Like, he couldn't come up with a name for this guy.
I mean, he should have pulled the big dick move and been like, doesn't matter.
I've been like, he's my
I'm the boss.
He's my young lover. Like, anything would have worked. But he won't tell. So Drew pulls out like this Article 9, Chapter 7 of the fucking handbook or whatever.
It's like a vote of no confidence sort of
it's
thing.
basically like
Amendment 25 or whatever.
Like, we can make you retire on your 65th birthday, which is like 2 days away. We're convenient. And they have a vote, and everyone votes except for like one old guy on the board who's like my favorite board member. Like, he's always backing up Bill. I don't think none of this guy's a name, but he's always like right there by Bill's side, and he's always like got his back. And then Quince votes no as well. And this is all Quince's fault.
And Quince realizes, he's like, oh shit, I've been bamboozled.
Yeah, well, yeah, and after the meeting, like, Drew tells him, like, hey, this is all thanks to you because of what you told the board. And Quince is like, I'm too dumb and stupid to realize that was what you were doing, and now I feel terrible that like I've cost this man his job. Like, it's not my intention. But Drew like basically was like, I was setting up the sale all along. We find out that he's basically the inside man for Bonacue. Like, he was never on Bill's side. Like, he got
pretty sure this is a felony.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, because it definitely is. We'll find that out later in the movie.
At least if you're going to do something like this, you don't admit it to anybody.
Yeah. Back at the house, like, Joe's just hanging out by the pool, like dipping his hands in the water like he's never seen water before. And Susan walks in, and they kiss, and then she starts to undress him. And this is where we get...
There's a bed conveniently next to this pool. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking a day bed. I'm not talking a lounge bed. There's a king-size fucking bed.
This could be her bedroom. I don't know. Like, she's like, well, he's like, what would you like in your bedroom? The pool. Like,
the rich, they're just like us.
Yeah, put the whole pool in there. And then just like a super long sex scene, like way too long.
How convenient that last week we had what I thought was probably one of the best sex scenes of any movie. This is the worst sex scene I've ever seen in a movie.
It's not great.
Like, with Brad Pitt just open mouth, face bumping this woman for I don't know, 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's a long sex scene. Like, this, for a 3-hour movie, there's way too much just nonsense in this that didn't need to be there.
Don't just sit there and gasp like you're trying to get air into your lungs into somebody else's head. This is terrible. I'm sorry.
It kind of makes sense because when they're done, she says to him, making love with you was like making love with someone who was making love for the first time. And she's super into it. Like, this is a compliment. She's like, you had no idea what you were doing, and I loved every second of it. But he's like, I liked it too. And she's like, more than peanut butter? And he's like, yes, I did. I enjoyed the sex more than peanut butter.
I mean, Just terrible.
Yeah. But then like they're saying goodbye in the foyer, and she's getting ready to leave, and they kiss, and Bill walks down the stairs and sees all this, and Joe, without even turning around, is like, "Hello, Bill." Like it's super creepy, and like
It's very ominous.
He's being a dick, and he turns around, and Bill is like, "I did not give you permission to date my daughter. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but this needs to stop."
We made one role, and it was not to fuck around with my children.
Yeah, you're not supposed to bring my family into this at all. And Joe Black is just like, "Bill, like, I'm gonna do what I want. Like, don't threaten me. Don't make me kill you early and ruin my vacation," he says. I was
Yes.
like, God damn, like that's cold blooded.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to give yourself a heart attack.
Yeah, he's a real dick to him about it. Like, I'm gonna take what I want, essentially.
Actually, I love this scene. He has my favorite line in the entire movie. Hopkins looks at him and he's like, "I know who you are, and you're all fucked up."
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, because he's telling him, he's like, you're meddling in stuff you don't like. You're going against the laws of the universe. Essentially, he's telling him. Joe goes to see Susan at the hospital. He's waiting with flowers by the nurse's station, and they ask him if he needs any help, and he says he's there to see Susan. And they're like, her shift doesn't start for like quite a few hours. Like,
Come on, let me just wander in here and talk to a Jamaican lady.
And he does. But then Susan is looking for Joe at the house at the same time. And she tells, her dad that she's in love with him. And he tells her that, I don't think he's going to be around for long. And you shouldn't get yourself caught up with him. Like, he's not going to be here. He's going to go somewhere. And he tells her that, he's no good for her. And then we come back to the hospital, and Joe's visiting the Jamaican lady. Back into the Jamaican accent.
This is pre 9/11. Remember when you were just a tall, dopey white guy could just walk around wherever the fuck he wanted, apparently?
I'm telling you, we talked about before, it's tall, dopey white guys that look like Brad Pitt. Like, it's pretty privileged. You go where you want. You do what you want. Nobody's going to stop you. But the Jamaican lady is like, "Oh, did you come to see me?" And he's like, "No, I came to see the nurse." And she's like, "Oh, I can tell you love her. But does she know who you really are? Because she knows what he is."
Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not watch this movie, I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, no, watch this scene.
Just Google this scene.
Yeah, she's great.
It's both delightful. It feels a little dirty at the same time. Like, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. But she tells him, like, he's not in the right place. Like, this isn't where you're supposed to be. Like, you're meddling in things you don't understand. Like, you don't know what real love is, and she doesn't know who you are. Like, you're not being truthful with her. And he tells her, though, but it's kind of sad. He's like, "I'm not lonely here, though. Like, somebody wants me." Like, he's so lonely. Like, he's been around for eons and never had anybody.
Nobody wants to see him.
Yeah, I mean, he's deaf. Like, nobody likes death, obviously. And she tells her, like, the truth is bound to happen if you stay long enough. She goes, we're mostly lonely here, too. Like, it's not as nice as you think it is. She likens it because, he's on a vacation, essentially. And she's like, you go to the islands and you have a few drinks and it's nice and you stay out in the sun, but you don't burn, you get a nice tan. She's like, if you stay too long, like, things bad are going to happen. Like, you can't be here. And then he euthanizes her.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I mean, she's still talking about the pain, and she asks if, like, it's time to go yet, and he, like, does her a solid. Like, this is, like...
Yeah, because he even says, he's like, "No, it's not time yet." And then he's like, "Fuck it, I'll make an exception."
Yeah. Like, he's like, "All right, for you, I'll send you off to where you want to go." So he takes her out.
Euthanize is a great word for this situation. He really does.
is. He's like the fucking Dr. Kevorkian. Like, he's just people that are sick and don't want to be here anymore. He's taking them out. He goes back to the house and he finds Bill and he tells him, like, the Jamaican lady kind of talks some sense into him in a way. Like, he realizes he shouldn't be here. So he tells Bill, my voyage here has kind of served its purpose. And Bill says he's ready. And
it's sort of a weird turn because the whole premise of this movie is him trying to buy a little bit more time.
Well, it's not like...
And he's finally like, "Look, if you're going to stop banging my daughter, I'm ready to go."
Yeah, but, like, it's not like... Bill never asked for more time. Like, he kind of got just forced into it. Like, Joe showed up and was like, "I need you to be my guy, and in exchange for that, like, we'll give you a little more time." But Bill was never, like, bargaining or asking to be around longer. He found out he was going to die, and now he's like, "I guess I'm going to see where this goes." But he tells him, not right now, like, tomorrow after the birthday party.
Enjoy your birthday party.
Right? So the next day at the party, like, they're still getting things set up. It's like before the party starts, Joe goes to Quince, and he sees him sitting at, like, the bar having some wine by himself. before the party, and he asks him. He's kind of like looking for like some love advice, basically, because he says that like he sees him and Allison and that she loves him, and he tells her that the reason Allison loves him is because she knows like the worst things about him, and it's still okay.
Yeah.
One of those worst things is the fact that he loves little girls, I'm guessing. Like that's probably a secret that she's been keeping.
I will say that any scene with them two, they have what, like 2 or 3 scenes?
Yeah.
Half of them are unnecessary for this movie, but they're all incredible. Jeffrey Tambor and Brad Pitt. For as troubled as Jeffrey Tambor is, like,
yeah,
he's a fucking great actor.
Yeah.
Like,
they're good
These
together.
two lay it
They
down
have a cool
together.
relationship, like I feel like. Because like, and at one point, like...
He plays the idiot that knows he's the idiot.
Yeah, and at one point, like, Quince is like, do you think I'm a good person, or do you like me? And Joe's like, oh, you're one of my favorites. Like, he tells him, like, you're one of my favorite people. He's on this voyage in a human body, like, experiencing the human experience, and like he loves Quince. Like, he thinks Quince is great, and Quince like breaks down and tells him that he's the reason that Bill's losing his company because of what he said. And Joe says, well, go find Bill and tell him the truth, he'll forgive you. Like, this was Quince was like, maybe I should wait till after the party because I don't want to ruin the party. And he's like, no, you should probably tell him before.
Time is of the essence, buddy.
I can't say why, but you should probably tell him before. We get a scene with this is basically like the Bill's wrapping everything up tour, because like he knows he's done at the end of the party. So he finds Allison and he asks her like why she's doing all this for the party, and it's basically because she feels like she's competing with Susan for whatever reason. Susan is Bill's favorite, and like Allison knows it, so she's always tried to like do stuff like this to like get his attention.
Yeah,
and she says
nobody argues the difference, not even him.
No, he doesn't. Like she says, I feel like Susan was always the favorite. And she's like, but you've always been mine. And he's like, hey, thanks. Like, not like...
That's swell. Like, I love you. Yeah. I do love her more, but I love you.
Yeah, he's not like at all like, oh, I don't have favorites. I love you both equally. He's just like, yeah, you're probably right. Like,
yeah.
Susan's pretty awesome, isn't she?
I mean, I do appreciate that, like, he doesn't try to hide it at all. But you're going out, like, just throw her a bone before you die.
Yeah.
Because, like, after this, he's like, I'm fucking done with you. I gotta go say goodbye to the daughter I love for 2 hours.
Absolutely. You never see Allison again after this. Susan and Joe finally meet up. Like, she gets to the party and she finds Joe, and she tells him that she heard he might be leaving. And he's like, oh, yeah, your father's time and mine are coming to an end. They're kind of ominous, but like more or less like in a business sense, like is what he makes it sound like. And he tells her he doesn't want to leave. And she says she wants to be with him and she'll go with him. So we cut back to Bill's office where Quince is confessing to Bill. And Bill's kind of a dick to Quince. Not like a dick, but he's like a little bit cold.
I don't think he's cold. I think he just realized he's like, look, I'm going to forgive you eventually. So let's just make it fast because I got 72 minutes left.
Yeah, but he's just, I guess so. And Bill wants, but he does tell Quince, he's like, I want Drew on the chopper. Like, I need you to get me Drew here because I want to tell him how I feel about him face to face. And Quince is like, that's going to be like a tall order, but I'll make it happen. And then he walks out. Joe comes in and he tells Bill that he loves Susan and he's going to take her with him tonight. And then Bill's just like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Yeah.
Come again?
It's like, bro, you don't make these rules up.
Yeah. And he tells him, like, this isn't something you do to someone you love. You don't hurt someone you love. Like, and he says to him, because Joe goes to walk out, and he goes, why are you even like telling me this? Because it seems like you're asking for my permission. And for you to be asking my permission means that like somewhere along the lines, you've become a good guy. Like, while you've been here in this body. And he's like, why don't you tell her who you really are and then see if she wants to stay with you?
Yeah.
And
this is one of the ones, this is like another one where you could just tell the director was just touching himself the whole time. He's like, these guys are just into each other. Like, the scene it's powerful. You got Brad Pitt, you got Anthony Hopkins. Yeah. At one point, what does he yell? He's like, are you threatening me, Bill?
He goes, I hope so.
Yeah, he's like, I hope so. We could have just had 45 minutes of their scenes together, and I'd have been like, best movie ever.
Yeah, like, this is Bill basically like, I'm gonna die. Like, what do I care anymore? Like, what are you can't threaten me with death. Like, I know you're gonna kill me, so what are you gonna do to me? So he meets up with Susan again out in the party, and he asks if he can kiss her again, and they kiss, and she says, well, that felt like goodbye. And this whole scene was weird to me. she immediately like looks at him and she's like, "You're someone else." Because they talk about the morning in the coffee shop. And then she says, "You're someone else. Like, you're not that guy that I met in the coffee shop." And she says that she's afraid to find out who he really is. And he says, "Don't be afraid. You know what I am." And then she looks at him and like she has like this look come over her of like fear almost. And she's like, you're Joe. You're just Joe. And it's like she knows who he is. Like, I guess maybe we're supposed to. I guess maybe
in
we're
the
supposed to
same
assume.
situation, wouldn't you like? There'd be about 30 other things I'd guess before this is death that inhabited that guy that flirted with me's body.
Yeah.
Like, how? It's so stupid.
It's really dumb. Like, I guess maybe like he just looked at her and like she looked at his eyes and she could see like everything.
Like, it would have
it's not
made more
explained,
sense
though.
if he like plucked a bird out of the sky and it died immediately. Like that would have made
like a waiter
sense.
walks by and he grabs an hors d'oeuvre and taps him and the guy just fucking collapses.
Yeah.
But he says to her, like, "I promise you'll always have what you found at the coffee shop." He tells her that. And then he says, "I love you now and I'll love you always." And then he thanks her for loving him. And then it's time to go kill Bill. Like, he leaves and he goes into the office. And
The original Kill Bill.
Yeah, he's like, "It's time." And but then Quince like knocks on the door and comes in. He's like, "I got Drew on the chopper. He's going to be here in 2 minutes." And so before he gets there, Bill calls like the board members. They're all in the office still. He puts them on speakerphone.
Which you think they'd be at the 65-year-old's birthday party.
Well, the one guy said at one point he was going to stick behind and like try to fix things with the board. So they were all like working late.
Oh, okay.
And he gets the board on the phone. And he puts them all on speaker and he's like, "I don't know if this is going to work or not or help, but like I want you guys to hear this. Maybe it'll help you make a decision." So Drew comes in and Bill flat out accuses him of working with Montague, and like he knows that he's working with him. He denies it at first, and he's giving Bill a lot of like back talk. And Joe gets like he comes out from behind him and he gets up in his face almost, and he's like, "You want to know who I am? I'll tell you who I am." And Bill's like, "This wasn't part of the plan. Like, don't. I got the board in the phone. Like, you tell him you're deaf. Like, oh fucking shit's gonna go down."
They're going to think I'm really crazy.
Yeah. And he's like, "Let me tell you who I am. I'm an agent for the Internal Revenue Service. And I've been working with Bill because we had a tip that there was some insider stuff going on between Montague and you. And so like this basically makes Drew confess to doing wrong because this is a crime. So he's like, we can basically just like you admit to it now and you can walk out of here scot-free."
And they reference back to one of the first times they met where he says the only two things that are guaranteed are death and taxes. And Brad Pitt is like thrown on. He's blown away by this phrase.
Yeah. He doesn't.
So in this moment, he's not death. He's taxes.
Yes.
Which I was like super clever. And I'm hoping everybody took the day off after they wrote that part.
But the whole board, like they pipe up and say they heard everything and they're going to get things rolling and Bill's back in charge of the company and everything's fine. Not really, because Bill's about to be dead in 15 minutes.
Yes.
Bill gives a big speech at his party. Just says that he's like lucky to have a life that he's had, where you wake up day to day and you can wake up in the morning and know that you want nothing more. Like you've gotten everything you ever wanted. And he says that 65 years go by in a blink of an eye. He walks down off the stage, tells Susan how much he loves her, and that never worry about me. And if anything ever happens to me, you'll be okay. Like,
This
have
is
no
where I
regrets.
hit pause, and there were still 20 minutes of this fucking movie left.
Dude. She says, "I love you, Daddy." And they have a daddy-daughter dance. And like she's
The
crying.
whole dance.
Yeah, the whole dance. She's crying. Like she knows he's going to die. Like it's obvious that she knows something is about to happen. Like she knows everything
Brad
at this point.
Pitt is literally in the background of every one of these scenes, up a hill,
I'm just watching.
staring at his watch. Like, are you? Come on, man.
Yeah,
like don't make me kill you in the middle of the daddy-daughter dance.
Yeah, just watching. And a big fireworks display goes off as they finish the dance. And she says, like, "Come on, let's go watch it." And he says, "You know what? I'm going to stay here and catch my breath." Then she really starts crying because she knows the dude's about to be gone. Bill walks up the hill to see Joe, and he actually thanks Joe for what he did for Susan, that, made her feel that electricity and that lightning and that love, like that true love. And Joe thanks Bill for his time and the person that he is. Like,
yeah, and he says, "You're going to be my only person I'm taking with me tonight."
Yeah.
He's like, "Thanks, bro." Like, this is a full-on bromance at this moment.
Yeah. So then, like, Joe and Bill just go walk off together, and Susan sees them walking over this hill.
They literally walk over a fucking bridge.
Yeah, they walk over a bridge and, like, up over a
It
hill.
could have been better if they got on a boat together and crossed a river.
So she sees them walking off, and she runs up, and they go down over the hill, and she stops, and then Joe comes back over the hill alone. And he looks,
Just when I thought this movie couldn't piss me off one more time.
he looks super confused, like he has the entire movie, and he's just looking around like, where the fuck am I? And she walks up to him, and he's the guy from the coffee shop again, and he's like, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't remember
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He just goes right back into flirting as if nothing fucking happened.
Sort of, but he's also like, everything's a blur. I don't really know what happened. Like, I'm really not sure what I'm doing here.
This pissed me off so much. So this guy, he's flirting with a girl that he probably mistaked for Angelina Jolie. Walks outside. Last thing he sees, well, after he looks back at her 15 and a half times, is a Dodge Grand Caravan just crushing his ass. And then wakes up. It's 3 weeks later. It's nighttime. Fireworks are going off. He's in a suit and tie. Here's the same girl in a ball gown. And there's a dead guy on the other side of the bridge. I'd bring that up first off. I'd be like, there's a dead guy over there. Like, I was just like, none of this shit makes sense.
But they talk, and he's just like, he says something about, like, all I can think about, all I can really remember, and what I keep thinking about is how that when we left the coffee shop, you told me that you liked me, and she goes, I didn't tell you I liked you. I told you I liked you so much. And she's like, I wish you could have met my father, could have known my father. So she knows he's dead.
Is that guy over there?
Yeah, she knows he's gone. And she says, well, what do we do now? And he's like, it'll come to us. And that's the fucking movie. Grand gestures, flowers, CJ.
I really enjoyed the fact they ended us with Brother Is. I fucking love that song. The Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Wonderful Life combo song, which, let's just talk about that.
The Hawaiian guy.
That was one where Brother Is wrote that at like 3 a.m., literally woke up the sound engineer, put this song down, and then also greeted death like 3 months later. Like, this movie, if you were to cut out all of the awkward silences, this movie would only be an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
And there are parts of this just make no sense. Like that whole part at the end with Brad Pitt just walking back over the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, hey, here's that chick from the coffee shop.
Well, I felt like it was death, like giving her, like throwing her a bone. Like,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because he says, like, before they say goodbye, you'll always have what you had in the coffee shop. And that was that guy.
Yeah. As soon as he said that, I was like, oh, he's sending Brad Pitt back.
Yeah.
It just pissed me off so much.
Yeah.
And like like I said, this whole movie was put together to put Brad Pitt and Anthony Hopkins in the same room again.
Yeah.
And just, hey, you guys have some fun. And take as many long pauses as you absolutely need to have. I mean, that was about it. I did like the bromance, though. I mean, by the end of it, they started to get together. I felt that, where like they were just accepting of each other.
Yeah.
And Anthony Hopkins kind of hits that point where he's just like, look, man, I know how this is going to end. Like, you have no power over me anymore.
Yeah.
You're killing me regardless.
Yeah.
So, like, I get to fucking threaten you a little bit. I get to yell at you a little bit. I like that.
Yeah. I guess I'll start. I got some fun, like, I think fun facts, but I guess I'll just start with, like, how wild, like, put yourself, like you said, in that guy's shoes. Like, he died in a car accident. I guess he doesn't remember that, but he just comes to, like, in a field, presumably with a dead body right next to him, like, walks over the hill, and now all of a sudden he's, like, back with this girl.
This is how the beginning of, like, 4 different Saw movies begin.
And, like, imagine, like, this guy came into their lives, like, complete stranger. Like, everybody has met Joe Black at this point. They all know who this guy is. They all saw, like, him and Anthony Hopkins hanging out at this party all night together. And then, presumably, they're just going to find, like, dead Anthony Hopkins, like, right over the hill. And the last person they saw him with was Joe Black. And now this guy, who even knows if he remembers, like, who he was before, but he presumably had a family, like, he has a sister, like, he had a life.
He had wives.
And now does he just have to pretend to be Joe Black now? Like, to be with Susan? Or does he, like, what happens? I want to know what happens to this guy.
They're billionaires, so they just mulch this all
I mean,
right
he lucked
over.
out because when we meet this guy, he's like waiting for someone to like move out of an apartment so he can move in. So he has nowhere to live. He's working pro bono, so he's got a job he makes no money, and he somehow just lucked his way into like being an heir to like a billionaire fortune.
Yeah.
Because a guy that rode around in your body like a meat suit for a couple days just knocked this fucking guy off.
They call this an Edgar suit.
Yeah.
Like, you ever seen
Men in Black?
Men in Black, yeah. That's called an Edgar suit.
But yeah, that's wild to me. The guy who directed this, I found his filmography to be pretty interesting. Did you see what else he directed?
Not at all. This was 3 a.m. when I ended this movie, so I was like, I'm going to bed. I can't read about it. I can't watch anymore.
This guy's directed 5 movies. He starts with Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay, we got a winner.
Then he does Midnight Run.
Winner.
Then he does Son of a Woman.
I've never seen it, but I know it's a winner.
Al Pacino won an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
He's Son of a Woman. Follows that up, Meet Joe Black.
Okay.
Follows that up with Geely.
Geely. The Jennifer Lopez movie?
Ben Affleck movie, like reviewed as like seen as like one of the worst movies of all time.
Wow, so this guy had an arc.
It wasn't so much an arc as it was just like
Just a plummet.
Start at the top and just straight fucking down.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. And then he hasn't directed anything since. He may have passed. I'm not really sure. Actually, I have my IMDb pulled up right now. No, he's alive. Born August 8th, 1951. There is no death on this guy's. So after Geely,
You can greet people at Walmart until you're like 85.
yeah, after Geely, he just fell off the face of the earth. Martin Brest was this man's name.
Martin Brest.
Big shout out to that guy. I mean, he gave us Beverly Hills Cop, and that to me is
There you go.
that's all you really needed to do. After that, it was all just icing on the cake. So whatever. So there was that. The other thing was when this movie came out. I don't know what this movie did box office wise. But it was certainly helped by the fact that the Star Wars prequels released. And the first one, The Phantom Menace, came out. Remember when the trailer came out for that? It was like such a big deal. And like you couldn't watch that shit online. Like there was no online trailers at that point. This was the movie they were showing it before. People were buying tickets to see this movie and then walking out in droves once the Phantom Menace trailer showed, and no one stayed around to watch Meet Joe Black.
But they bought those tickets.
Exactly,
so
and it goes to the box
got
office.
Amped up on that.
So you could probably like take a lot of this movie's box office gross away based on the fact that people were just going to see the trailer and then did not watch the movie.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what? One other thing I thought was interesting in this. Did you notice that Brad Pitt wears the hell out of a suit?
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins, they actually show him shirtless at the beginning, and I was like, fucking dad bod Hopkins here. He was rocking it for 65 years old.
He wasn't doing bad.
He wears the hell out of a suit the whole time. Every single other person in this movie that wears a suit has an ill-fitting suit on.
Really?
They're all a little bit too big or a little bit too tight.
Well, even Brad Pitt, before he becomes Joe Black, is wearing a bad suit.
Yes.
And then once he becomes Joe Black, he starts dressing better.
I'm not exactly sure what the reason was that only these two wear like well-tailored suits. Because the rest of the board they even show, and these are presumably at least multimillionaires, are all wearing suits that look like they stole them off a dead man that morning.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And when in actuality, Joe Black's the only guy wearing a suit he stole off a dead man. All right, should we chick flick it to a dick flick it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be freeballing this one. So
okay,
sorry, freestyling this one. That vodka and energy drink is a good combo.
Hey, there you go.
So you go first.
I mean, this is a very loose concept. I'm going to change one word in the title and just let people's imaginations do what they want. Instead of Meet Joe Black, it's Meet Joe Dirt. And I'm just replacing Brad Pitt with David Spade as Joe Dirt, just to see him like interacting with this rich family. Like I want death to steal Joe Dirt's body, and it's just Joe Dirt eating peanut butter and like it's just Joe Dirt. Like it's just him in this movie.
The boardroom scenes alone.
I think it's
fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that's all I would do. Is just replace.
I love this.
Joe Black with Joe Dirt, or Joe Dirte, and I just think it would be it would make this movie infinitely better. Like I would watch 3 hours of Joe Dirt trying to fit in with like this style of people and like this story.
This would be amazing.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Then we can get Christopher Walken in this movie
yes,
too.
Absolutely.
Which actually, like this movie, if you just replaced Brad Pitt with Joe Dirt, Anthony Hopkins with Christopher Walken, 5 stars
Yeah,
right there.
I think so.
Yeah, 100%.
I think so.
The only thing I come up with, like, first off, it bothered the hell out of me that they make a point not to show him touch anybody for the first, like, 45 minutes that he's in that body. So, like, I was thinking, like, okay, he's death. If he touches somebody, they die.
Yeah.
And then they just abandon that concept immediately. Like, they're all of a sudden, like, they even show, like, when he's handing him the spoon, that he goes out of his way to grab it away from the guy's skin. I want it so that, like, yeah, if he touches somebody, they die. And it just keeps happening on accident. Like, he's like, what is this? And then Anthony Hopkins is like, that's the family dog. And he's like, may I touch it? Just pets it, the dog falls over.
That sex scene would have taken a really weird turn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where he's trying to figure out how to have sex with a woman without touching her at all. So it's like full body condom stuff going on. So he's basically like Bubble Boy trying to get through this 2 weeks, 3 weeks that he's on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want it to be the full death thing. You know, he picks up a fork and it turns into a little scythe.
He's trying to get through a crowded room. He's just like, bang, 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 making a path. All right, I like it. Let's Nick Cage it.
So I would put him in, I'm going to add him to this movie rather than make him a character.
Okay.
There's a part in the beginning where, daughter that gets no respect is walking alongside Anthony Hopkins. She's like, I'm not sure, the president, we invited him and he said he's coming, but then the Duke of Earl said that he might be able to make it. Anthony Hopkins is just like, whatever, I've already met all these people before.
Yeah.
I want her to also say like, oh, and I think we actually got Nick Cage. And, and he brushes it off. And then later when he's walking in and everybody's like congratulating him for his birthday and all that stuff, I want Nick Cage to be there to be like, Mr. Parrish, nice to meet you. And he just brushes him off and he's like, well, fuck you then, and walks away.
All right.
So it's like the President of the United States, the Duke of Earl, Nick Cage, all on the same level.
As they should be. All right. You actually mentioned it earlier that the guy that played Drew, his name is Jake Weber, was in the Dawn of the Dead remake, directed by Zack Snyder.
Yes.
This is going to be a real quick one. That movie also stars Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames is in a movie called Bringing Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that's great. That's a great movie, too.
Yeah, it is. I think is that a Scorsese movie?
It is a Scorsese movie.
Here we go again, talking about stuff we have no idea.
I would like to do you one better.
Okay.
The Claire Forlani, who plays the love interest. Forlani is also his wife in The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot she was even in that. Well,
I remember I was looking through the cast on this, and I was like, I know she looks familiar. Yeah, of course, she was right there. She was the prom queen.
Fuck. I had no idea. Ah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's rate it.
I know what I'm giving this. This is a 1. This movie's terrible. All right, like, even if you were to cut this down to the hour and a half it should have been, I'm actually glad. I don't think we stressed enough that this movie is way too long. This is a mini series in one night.
Yeah.
Even if you were to cut it down to the hour and a half, there's so much weird shit in here, and it just feels so forced that it was just a reason to get these two guys together on screen.
Yeah.
As far as for the aspects of this podcast where it's supposed to be about romance stories, the romance is so second tier to those two being together. I mean, it's getting a 1 literally for the Jamaican lady scenes. Oh, and for Brother Is. Yeah. He bumps it up a little bit. I'd have possibly given it a 2, but then Brad Pitt comes back as Diner Brad Pitt at the end. And it just blew me out of the water that this guy is not just like, why is Anthony Hopkins dead over there? Why are you here? Why am I in a suit? I mean, it's a good looking suit, but why? Yeah. Like it wrecked me. So yeah, it's a 1. This is a terrible movie.
All right. Yeah. So 3 hours. It's a 3-hour movie. At the point in the movie where he says, I think our journey here is ended. And Bill says, I'm ready. And he says, okay, but not tonight. Tomorrow after the party. I paused it. There were still an hour and 5 minutes left. And at that point, I was ready. I was praying for the cold embrace of death as well, and I was just like, I get it, Anthony Hopkins. Like, I'm ready to check out too. Like, come and take me, because I can't do another hour of this movie. I didn't like this movie. It's not good. It is not a good movie. 1 is bad. Like, that's really bad.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna go 1.5. And that 1.5 is solely based on how fucking good Anthony Hopkins is. Like, he is a great actor. This is not a good movie, but like every scene he's in, he chews it up. And like, he's just great in it. But that's the only good thing about this movie.
This is bad movie, Hopkins. Like, you can watch a dozen other movies.
But he's acting his ass off in this.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good. I can't give it a 1 because of him. But I can't give it a 1.5. Everything else is just bad. Like, it makes no sense. And can we talk about the relationship in this? Like, she falls in love with a guy, head over heels in love with a guy, after like an hour-long conversation at a diner.
I believed it. He laid the game on. She was working with him.
But then for the rest of this movie, another, we'll call him a character, Death, hijacks this body, pretends to be him, and then uses that to sleep with her and make her fall in love with him more. Like, that's fucking creepy. Like, that's not what she signed up for. She doesn't know that you're a different person.
If I'd have flirted with Brad Pitt in that diner and then met him a day later, and he's literally walking around with a spoonful of peanut butter, barely understands English, and doesn't know how the bed works, I'd be like, this guy got hit on the head so hard between our meetings that, like, I think I should probably take him to a doctor
But she
and
continues,
not sleep with
She
him.
continues to fall in love with him for no good reason.
Yes.
Like, solely based on that first interaction, she's like, all right, I'm going to take this ride. It's so fucking weird.
If you would have shown up today to record this I know you very well. If you'd have shown up and made sweet face love with a spoon of peanut butter the way that he did, I wouldn't have recorded this podcast with you. I'd have been like, hey man, we should probably go and get you checked out. Like, you might have taken a bump a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. So, like, I just, that to me, like, that whole thing is just so fucking weird. So, yeah, 1.5. Like, other than that, this movie makes no sense. The relationship is bad. It's too long. It doesn't need to be this long. Anthony Hopkins is a great actor. 1.5.
There you go.
All right. Let's roll one. I got 179.
179?
Yes, sir.
All right. We have number 83. Right in the middle there. Ish.
Some Kind of Wonderful. Any idea what that is?
Not at all. 1987.
80s. Oh! This is so weird. This is another movie that I added randomly because I watched something else for the podcast, like on Amazon, and then this started right after it, and I watched like the first like 10 to 15 minutes of it.
This is the Eric Stoltz and Leah Thompson movie.
Do you know what this is?
No, I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, like I just started watching it, and I was like, I didn't really have an opinion on it from the first 10 or 15 minutes. I just knew that it was podcast worthy. Like, this was a movie that should be on there. Let's see here. Keith Nelson, Eric Stoltz, an artsy high school outcast, tries to land a date with the popular girl, Amanda Jones, played by Leah Thompson, with some help from his tomboy best friend, Watts, Mary Stuart Masterson. So we already know how this movie's going, right?
Yeah.
He falls in love. He thinks he's in love with the popular girl, and then the tomboy best friend who was right next to him the whole time was who he really wanted.
She takes off her glasses.
Yeah.
Makes her hair all
She shows
shiny.
up in a dress at one point, like for the school dance, and he's like, oh my God, I had no idea.
She has breasts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but that's what we're watching. 1987, Some Kind of Wonderful.
All right.
Hour and 35 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Let's do this.
Let's
5
go.
stars.
Let's go.
I gotta say,
It's not 3 hours, and I bet nobody jerks off in this entire movie. It's a step up from the last 2 weeks.
in an hour and 35, I might be. Who knows?
All right. Well, until next time, everyone, when we discuss 1987, Some Kind of Wonderful, please like us, subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts at. Tell your friends and family. Check us out on Facebook. You've Got Mail. See that sweet, sweet meme CJ's making. They just keep getting better and better. The one for Don John, probably my favorite one so far.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I loved it. And email us.
Wait till you see this one.
Yeah.
It's one meme, but it takes 45 minutes.
Reach out to us, whether it be on Facebook Messenger, which is approved of, and our email, you've.gotmails@yahoo.com. Please, we got some new listeners. I'd like to give a shout out to the Great White North, Calgary, Alberta, up there.
Ain't no tariffs on this shit, man.
Yeah. We support our brothers and sisters of the North.
Oh yeah.
So why are you listening? Where'd you find us? What do you like about us?
Not only do we love Canadians, we want them to stay Canadians.
Yeah, exactly. Reach out and say hello. I'd love that. Germany's not saying hi, so let's go, Canada.
That's right.
Ball's in your court, or should I say the puck is in your
Puck's
rink.
on your pond.
The puck's in your rink. All right, but yeah, that's it. Until next time, everybody. Stay romantic. Don't be shitty at each other.
Ooh, this is the part where a better editor would know how to put that Brother Is song in at the end.
Yeah, well, you'll figure it out.